Hey, it's Dorleen. Today is the last day of my 12 Days of Tag series, and I'm creating this tag, of course, for this year. If you've got elementary school students, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this file was in Cricut Design Space by Barb Keppins, but I did some adjustments. So you see all those white pieces, how every finger is a different cut. When I first did it, because I always do a sample, there were a lot of small pieces. So what I decided to do is I took her image, her file. Now I'm removing the red parts of the 6. So I'm keeping the white, and also I'm going to remove the black. So in order to keep the white sections together, I'm going to use my cursor tool and just kind of highlight all of them and group that, or sorry, not group, attach it. So if I attach it, that becomes one layer. So now I'm going to move it over to that black, which is solid. But before I do that, I'm actually going to make a copy of the black part, because you'll see in a minute, I'm going to make this into white. So instead of having all those tiny little pieces, I'm going to have a white solid in the back, and then the black is going to have all these white little sections cut out. It'll make sense in just a minute. So I'm doing the same thing with the 7 part. Again, I'm going to group all the white together, and then I'm going to hit attach. So again, it's one file, and you see how it just fits in there perfectly. It's great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side that has the 6 and the solid black, only 2 pieces because you can only subtract 2 pieces, and then I hit subtract over there in the combine area. And then if you look really closely, and I'll show you in just a minute, but it's got that checkered background, so now you know that it is cut through and it's not solid anymore. So I'm going to do that for the 6 portion with the hands. Well, it's really the hands and the snow. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the 7 portion. But like I said, if you look really closely, you can see the little graph in those empty spots in this main image that I'm showing you right now. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this section, the white that's on the 7 side, I'm going to move it to the front because it moved to the back for some reason after I sliced it or I subtracted it. And then I'm going to move it around, adjust it to where it needs to go, and that's just a little bit to the left. You can tell it's not really lined up. But once I find that spot, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to click on that attached area of the white, and then the big black area, which is the solid black, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit the combine, but I'm going to hit the subtract. So you can see there that the solid white is going to be 1 piece in the back. Now, I know that makes the gluing a little bit more fine lines, but believe me, that would be so much easier than trying to put all those tiny pieces in the exact same spots on top of the black. So I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, leave me a comment and I'll try to explain it a little better. But once I do all that, so this is what I'm talking about. There's the solid white, which is basically going to be the base of the cut. And then this is the black part with all those white pieces cut out. And you see how it just lays right on top of there. Now I see it now, but I didn't realize it when I was gluing it, that on that right hand finger, one of the fingers I didn't pop out, but we'll fix that in a minute. So right now I'm just kind of placing everything where it should go. I decided I need to probably group the pieces just so when I do the assembly line layering, it'll be a lot quicker. I usually do one first because I want to make sure I have everything in the right spot before I decide to do everything all at once. And then once everything's perfect, everything's good, then I do the other 5. I mentioned before, if you've been watching these videos, that I do create 6 of each of the 12 tags. And what I do with them is I put them in, well, basically packs or sets of 6. And at the end of this series, which is today, so on Sunday, today is Friday the 12th. On Sunday, I will draw a winner of my giveaway. And to get an entry into the giveaway, you just need to leave a comment here on my Instagram, my Facebook, my blog, whichever social media platform. Leave a comment and that will give you an entry. And if you leave them on multiple platforms, you'll get those additional entries for every day. So if you haven't done it yet, go back and do it. You see how I did my hands there? That's the whole 6, 7, right? Oh my gosh. My granddaughters are saying that, and it's cute, but also annoying at the same time. And like I said, if you have an elementary school student and maybe even junior high and high school, I don't know how far this is going, but you've heard it all. And when I can incorporate kind of the newest and the old, what do I say, the latest and the greatest of that particular year, I mean, why not? This is so fun. This is a cute tag that you could put on any kid's package, because I think they would really like that. And you know what? Maybe you could put that on your tree when you're done, because this was a thing, you know, in 2025. Hopefully it doesn't last much longer than that. But I mentioned before that I try to do it all assembly line once I get the major part done. And what I decided to do here was I put everything on the black first, and then I put all the glue in the back of the black, and then I put that on the white. That did seem to help a little bit, but this is a really easy tag. My Cricut did all the work, which is always a good thing. I just made those adjustments on Design Space and that original Design Space project. I will have a link to my adjustment in the information box, as well as a link to my blog, my Instagram, all the information that you probably need. So once I do all this, I am going to put some sort of ribbon or some kind of how you can put it onto your tag, or in this case, like I said, you may put it on your tree as an ornament. I had bought these, it's Merry Christmas, and they're like bread tags. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. I bought these rolls. I still have 2 of them. I bought them like years ago, and I use a little bit, but I didn't realize how much was in each roll. Usually when I buy these kind of things, I try to get them when they're on sale. So anything like a Michael's, well, this may have even been Joann's or Hobby Lobby or any of those stores. You know, after Christmas, they're selling stuff like next to nothing. So I always go through and say, okay, are there any stickers or any, ribbon, any kind of Christmassy embellishments? Yeah, that's the best time to get them, because they never go out of style. The colors stay the same. These are red with Merry Christmas across it. And again, super cute. Not going to go out of style. So once I did that, I thought, okay, is this really how I'm going to end my tag series, just with some bread ties on top of the 6-7? Nah, I'm going to put some Nuvo on it. And usually when I use my Nuvo, I call them Nuvo drops, because I think that's what they're actually called. Well, I wasn't going to do drops on this. I really just kind of smudged it around, and I only did it on the snow area. So even though there's white like in the little cotton ball and on the rim of the hat and also in the gloves, I didn't want to include that. I just wanted this to be the snow. So I went ahead and put it on all of those sections, and it really made a big difference. And I hope you can tell. But I do hope you like this tag. I hope you love the series. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. On a normal basis, I do 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center, which is the name of my craft room and also my blog. But like I mentioned before, leave a comment. I hope you get into this giveaway. And that's about it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that. Thanks for watching. Bye.